Heaven is my home. Heaven is my home. Now this sweet world is precious to me. I have traveled down this road before on a journey for a friend. Been away, but now I'm back for more. Going down this road again.
When?
You know he answers every prayer.
When?
But you better do your part.
There are two words.
Spirits all around you everywhere. But you gotta open up your heart.
That you have to get into your spirit. When? Pow!
Your brain is the devil.
You can hear that coming through the air. I want you to hear that.
A very good hello to everyone out there. This is Over the Edge. I'm Izzy Isn't, and with me tonight is Peter Konheim, and we're going to mix together live. And it's Your Brain is the Devil, part 13 tonight.
There's nothing like it. When? With a rage inside of me that had to keep. Don't push it, lady! I mean, I had a serious temper problem. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And I'm willing to change right now. No.
Let's start right where we left off last time.
Snow is going to fall, enough to cover us all. We've got to be strong men and our hand again. We've got to have faith in something bigger, faith in something bigger, faith in something big inside ourselves. The heat of our love will melt the snow we never felt. We're young and hard again. We got out to be good men. We've got to have faith in something bigger, faith in something bigger, faith in something big inside ourselves.
I just wanted to. Hey, wait one second. Let me take myself on speaker. Please don't mute me. Hello. I just wanted to, as the manager, get job record. Why the devil, the God's hand with his horns on his head and his foot. The sensuous aspects of human existence were frowned upon and made to be evil. And so the devil was created in the guise of the sensuous existence that Christianity frowned upon then and frowns upon now. It is such.
As we look back over 1976, why, there's some of us who say, Lord, every time I try to make a step forward, somebody was always there to pull me back.
Now, the postmodern view, where people, the church has been raised in the last several decades, actually the last couple of hundred years, there has been an attack on modernity, where we've got philosophers and the traditions of men and psychologists, psychiatrists, the whole psychological field, etc., has been debunking truth, debunking the anchor of reason. Now, if we give up truth, and we consider it as being just moral and moral relativism, well, your truth is your truth, it doesn't, you can do that, and as long as it doesn't touch my space, that's okay for you, it's not okay for me. So now we're getting into what Michael was talking about, are these dialectic consensus that is coming into the church.
So, what's going to happen after December 21st of this year? That's when I know, when it's like Y2K all over again.
That Satan was the immediate cause of? It says that in the Bible. This woman was struck by Satan.
Again, those thoughts are not you.
18 years she had this bent over back, and Satan was doing it, and God was ordaining that he be allowed to do it.
What observes them is the real you.
And all of that the glory of God, his mercy, his justice, his grace, his wisdom would shine more brightly.
You do not put those thoughts into your mind. If you did, you could also change them on command, couldn't you?
Sincere, fervent, and constant communication with the Creator of our spirits and bodies, our Heavenly Father. It is the same principle in breaking a bad habit or repenting from sin of any kind.
What will happen first? I'll tell you what will happen after December 21st, December 22nd, and on and on. You know, I love doomsday predictions. The 60s we had frauds like idiots like Gene Dixon claiming that there was going to be a huge earthquake in the Bay Area, and the soft minds were frightened by this. And I think people enjoy things like deep down inside. They love surrender themselves to somebody else's fears. That's what we're seeing.
Hold on, and like Paul said, every time I'm gonna do good, evil is always there. Hold on, and watchman in these dark times, yeah, we want to hear from you.
And we can argue with that and say, I don't agree. I don't think God should run the world this way. And if we ultimately disagree, then we will reject God, we'll reject the biblical testimony, and we will perish.
Hey, 484-425, area code 510. And you will not, I repeat, you will not say hello. Have you got that? Okay.
5 1 0 8 4 8 4 4 2 5.
Tell us, Lord, what of the night? We've heard what Richard Nixon said. Yeah, we know now that the answer ain't in phase 1, 2, nor 3. Oh, no, it ain't. We know, Lord, that Sherlock Holmes didn't have the answer. Oh, no, he didn't. We know that the Supreme Court
to the north and to the south I show a sign proclaiming death to the weakling, wealth to the strong. Open your eyes that you may see, O men of mildewed minds, and listen to me, ye bewildered millions. For I stand forth to challenge the wisdom of the world, to interrogate the laws of man and of God. I request reasons for your golden rule, and ask the why and wherefore of your 10 commands. Before none of your printed idols do I bend in acquiescence, and he who saith, thou shalt, to me is my mortal foe.
No, our Congress can give us the answer. Oh, no, we can't. And here we are, wondering how long, oh, Lord, how long must we lay in wait? How long must we suffer? We ain't going nowhere. Until you tell us.
Vampires, werewolves, ghouls, ghosts, mummies that come back to life after 3,000 years. Can such things be?
Hold on.
Well, I've spent a lifetime doing my best to persuade you, at least for an hour or two in a darkened theater, that there are things that go bump in the night.
Forever in hell.
You may have once agreed with them or needed them.
And I choose to trust him. That his way of managing the devil and managing evil that comes at me is wiser than the way I might choose to.
Like the fly fisherman who knows that the trout are driven by hunger, Lucifer also knows our hunger.
So, in the beginning, one of the first things we know about Satan is he was in Eden there, and he was...
Lord, please forgive me for what I do, for I know not what I've done. Father, please forgive me for I know not what I do. I just never had the chance to ever meet you. Therefore I did not know that I would grow to be my mother's evil seed and do these evil deeds. Mama had a baby and its head popped off. 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 My mama don't want me. The next thing I know, I'm getting dropped off. 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 Ring, ring, ring on the doorbell, and the next door neighbors on their front porch. 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 But they didn't want me neither, so they left me on someone else's lawn. Else's lawn. Else's lawn. Else's lawn. So somebody finally took me in, my great aunt and Uncle Edna and Charles. 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 They were the ones who were left in charge. My elementary, they gang up on me and sang this song. 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 It went a little something like Mary had a little lamb, little lamb, little lamb. Gabby had a Satan spawn, Satan spawn. Mama, why do they keep saying this? I just don't understand. And by the way, where's my dad? Father, please forgive me for I know not what I do. I just never had the chance to ever meet you. Therefore I did not know that I would grow to be my mother's evil seed and do these evil deeds. Predominantly, everything's always predominantly white, predominantly black. Well, what about me? Where does that leave me? Well, I guess that I'm between predominantly both of them. I think if I hear that fucking word again, I'ma scream. Vomiting, what do I look like? A comedian to you? Do you think that I'm kidding? What do I look like? Some kind of idiot? Wait a minute, shit, don't answer that. Why am I so misunderstood? Why do I go through so much bullshit? It's such bullshit, it's touch more bitch. Woe is me. There goes poor Marshall again, whining about his millions and his mansion and his soul. He's always drowning in the dad that he never had. And how his child was so bad. And how his mom was a dope addict. And his ex-wife, how they go at it. Man, I'd hate to have it. As bad as that Mr. Mathis claims he had it. I can't imagine it. That little rich poor white bastard needs to take some of that cash out of the bank and take a bath in it. Man, if I only had half of it. If you only knew the half of it. Father, please forgive me for I know not what I do. I just never had the chance to ever meet you. Therefore I did not know that I would grow to be my mother's evil seed and do these evil deeds. Evil deeds, while I plant these evil seeds. Please release me from these demons. I never had any of this shit planned, Mom, please believe. I don't wanna be Satan's spawn. Never got the chance to say I'm sorry. Now look at all the pain I caused. Dear Santa Claus, why you not coming this year again? What did I do that was so bad to deserve this? Everything could have been so perfect, but life in a fairy tale. I'm about to be hoisted up in the air. 40 people on me, there's people everywhere. I don't even know what it feel like they know me, cause I'm in this Ferris wheel. And all I wanna do is go to the mall and take Haley on the carousel. Without this crowd everywhere I go, but life is like a merry-go-round. Here we go, now do-si-do, now curtains up, the show must go. Now ring around the rosy, the show's over, you can all go home now. But the curtain just don't close for me, this ain't how fame was supposed to be. Where's the switch I can just turn off and on? This ain't what I chose to be, so please God, give me the strength to have what it takes to carry on. Till I pass 50 back the baton, the camera's on, my soul is gone. Father, please forgive me for I know not what I do. I just never had the chance to ever meet you. Therefore I did not know that I would grow to be my mother's evil seed and do these evil deeds. Father, please forgive me for I know not what I do. I just never had the chance to ever meet you. Therefore I did not know that I would grow to be my mother's evil seed and do these evil deeds.
There are two words that you have to get into your spirit.
So, what else did the devil famously get up to?
Most contrived of emotions. It's the one we have to try the hardest to feel like. As human beings. Love is for politicians trying to get votes. Hate is for politicians who have already been elected.
Because your body is still connected to the source of error outside, it's also taking shape from those signals and being used to communicate doubt to your soul so that you may doubt or fear that you will never be right.
And raise a lump in your throat, a hard knot of terror. A number of my fellow actors, Bela Lugosi, Peter Lorre, Vincent Price, Miss Elsa Lanchester, to name only a few, have helped me in this persuasion. And in this record, it is my pleasure to share with you memorable passages of dialogue from scenes which film historians have come to regard as classics of terror.
He used to be an angel that cast out of heaven, I suppose.
He was cast from heaven in the Bible.
Yep, I made that mistake as well. Such a beautiful angel. With flaxen hair, wings like a swan. I could always beat the angel Gabriel in a race. Down to Galilee and back. Whoosh! I looked magnificent. Now, many years ago, I sat down to write a radio sitcom set in hell about the devil, and naturally, as a writer, I was drawn to the psychological heart of the character. That is the story of the fall. You know, his roots, his pride, his rebellion, his subsequent damnation for all eternity. It's a fantastic story. Got out the Bible, started to read it, looking for this story, and it's not there. Where do we get this story from before?
The story of the fall of the devil comes in that gap between the Old and the New Testament. I mean, I think we have to know what was happening in Judaism at that time. So Judaism, the Jewish homeland, had been occupied by the Romans. So there's great question about, we were God's chosen people, we were Yahweh's chosen people. Why has He abandoned us?
And then you come to the apocryphal texts that were written, Baruch and others, that are written from around about 150 BC right through to the beginning of the Christian period, by Jewish writers grappling with why everything seems to have gone wrong again. And then this mythology grows up, this story emerges, that yes, indeed, Satan used to be in the court of heaven, court of God. But he did something so dreadful, he was thrown out.
Er det nogen fra Danmark, der kan forstå mig? Er det nogen fra Danmark, der kan forstå mig? Kan I forstå mig? Ja.
So you're promoted to give in to sin, to serve your old master well. But right is observing the wrong. The error that has taken physical shape is using that stolen physical body, as it were. Just keep observing without anger or fear. Realize your need. Don't enter into a dialogue with these thoughts or voices.
From the Lord, oh Lord, I wish somebody would pray with me. Well, we want to know what of the night. Talk to us. Speak to us. Speak to me, Jesus. Tell me thy will. In thy soft and gentle voice, speak to me still. Hold on, while I'm waiting here at the altar. Give me a faith that will not falter.
And there's a whole section of literature which obviously isn't in the Bible now, Book of Enoch, Book of Jubilees, which explored these myths to try and explain basically why the Jews were in such a mess, why they've been occupied, and why it wasn't God's fault. So they created this character of the devil.
His current position and the result is that God said, I will cast thee as profane out of the mountain of God, I will cast thee to the ground, I will lay thee before kings, that they may behold thee. Behold here means to have knowledge, to understand, to perceive. By making merchandise of God's knowledge and twisting it, he becomes the God of this world, little g. So, 2 Corinthians 4:4.
And his story is really going to mix in the rest of them here. So, Satan is there, operating through the snake, and then God anointed him to be the cherubim that kept them away from the tree of life.
His initial trade was in the Garden of Eden, when he tricked mankind on the path away from the tree of life to the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. This gained him a linear existence to usurp creation and conform it to his own desires.
He was kind of renaming the life force, a kind of, as he called it, an implacable necessity.
Just observe until your soul cries out to God.
Why so many humans are told, only one among them, have remained infatuated by this idea that something about violence or something about kind of extramoral cruelty would have a particular capacity to deliver us, either beyond good and evil, or to deliver us into this very strong felt experience of what being alive was about.
He will not be successful.
For the time being, don't call upon a name that you've been educated to accept, or else you may revive a conditioned reflex response to words that connect you to the outside world.
His promised end is there. It says, I will destroy thee, O covering cherub, from the midst of the stones of fire. I will bring thee to ashes upon the earth, in the sight of all them that behold thee. All thee that know thee shall be astonished at thee. Thou shalt be a terror, and never shall be any more. The fall is an ongoing part of linear life. Understanding that Lucifer's fall was not in some ancient past before the creation of man, but was in fact in the garden as God's protector turned rebel. We can also grasp the fact that this fall is a continual ongoing process. Satan has fallen, is falling, and will continue to fall until he is cast into the lake of fire.
Talk to us.
What? Oh! But he was
We want to hear from you. I ain't going to be satisfied till you answer my question. What of the night? Hold on. We're not wanting love. a whole lot. Oh no, we don't. We just want to live joy. Oh, we just want to live happiness. We just want to smile sometime. Now we're tired of moaning and groaning.
In linear experience, the fall is ongoing because this is the fall. This makes Satan a far worse enemy. He being deluded, actually believes he has a chance to beat God at his own game. He has a strategy and a plan, and so far he is right on time. This makes him far more dangerous.
The God, the Jesus, the Buddha, that you may have accepted via brainwashing is not the real one.
I don't partake in that personally. I find it very confusing, as it sounds like perhaps you do as well.
So, let's take a look at the devil's appearances in the Old Testament. And this is where we come across a startling fact. He is barely in it. The devil actually appears for less than 0.5% of the Old Testament. And what sort of villain is that? That means if the Old Testament were a Bond movie, you would see this much baggage.
Welcome, Mr. Bond.
Yep, that's all. And in percentage terms, Satan doesn't appear much more in the New Testament. About the equivalent of...
Welcome, Mr. Bond. I've been expecting.
But the New Testament is different, because although the devil hardly appears in person, he is constantly referred to, lurking and plotting off stage. He becomes Jesus' morality.
I dip my forefinger in the watery blood of your impotent mad Redeemer and write over his thorn-torn brow, the true Prince of Evil, the King of the slaves. No hoary falsehood shall be a truth to me. No stifling dogma shall encramp my pen. I break away from all conventions which are not those which leadeth to my earthly success and happiness. I raise up in stern invasion the standard of the strong. I gaze into the glassy eye of your fearsome Jehovah and pluck him by the beard. I uplift a broad axe and split open his worm-eaten skull. I blast out the ghastly contents of philosophically whited sepulchres and laugh with sardonic wrath. Behold the crucifix. What does it symbolize?
I've got a mind to give up living, yes, and go shopping instead. I of living. Yes, and go shopping instead. Pick me a tombstone and be pronounced dead.
Someone playing with a 10-second delay. Listen to that, Don. They're sending the 10-second delay down the phone. Why are you making that gesture at me? See? There it goes. The 10-second delay down the line. Someone's playing games on the telephone. Your brain
The spiritual
is the
war.
devil.
This is the war that's been declared, yes, in the Garden of Eden. You say there's always been a spiritual war, heaven against hell. But folks, the devil in these last days is changing his strategy.
All the time. I'm very thankful that the brain is the devil tonight.
Has your gum lost flavor?
But for several weeks, my brain has been God, and now it's several weeks of brain being the devil. I'm confused.
Well, can you imagine what might happen if your brain is the devil goes on for something like 45 shows or 43 shows or whatever your brain is God named? Be pretty amazing, huh?
That would blow me away.
Yeah, it'd be really good radio. There I am again.
And so we're going to stop there. I'll go with the next big event. So I'm going to have Satan here in Eden there.
He's changing his plan.
And the next real thing is...
Here he comes right now.
Because the Bible says, woe to the inhabitants of the earth and the sea, the devil's come down to you having great wrath, knowing his time is short.
Genesis 6. And some of the fallen angels, the sons of God type, and they came down here to earth, and they took wives.
And this is the battle far more important in the eyes of God and hell than Armageddon itself.
You know,
And
I
kids.
wish I hadn't had such a terrible stroke and made myself difficult to be on the air anymore.
Did you hear the last broadcast?
Of me?
No, of what's his name?
Dr. Camping.
Harold Camping, yes. Did you hear the last one? I guess it was a night or two ago. My God.
I listened to myself.
I couldn't figure out what the hell was going on with him. I thought he was drunk, and I recorded some of it because I thought he was a drunk guy on the air, drunker than I've ever heard anyone, and I wanted a record of this air broadcast anomaly.
Well, you know that Harold has suffered a very bad stroke.
Well, maybe that was it. I didn't know that. Maybe that was it, but he's on the air sounding just like this.
Well, he was always pretty bad.
He was.
And that's how my imitation of him was derived.
But it's so much worse now. My God, I can't believe they...
I'm speaking of him in third person, but I'm him.
I realize that, Oscar.
Corinthians 9, verse 44 says, "Thee will not be judged by the plain brown wrapper, but by the sticky substance inside."
That's right, Oscar. But I don't know why they leave him on the air. It's like the strangest thing I've ever heard on the radio.
It's his own goddamn station. He can do whatever he wants.
No, it isn't. It's on Sirius.
Well, the family network is Mr. Camping myself.
Well, I can't believe
Family
it.
radio.
Anyway, it's real fun to listen to. Real fun. Try to look up Harold Camping, his new broadcasts, his latest, oh my God.
Is he taking calls?
I didn't.
Shall we take our next call, please, and all that?
I didn't hear that, but we will.
No, is that what Harold is saying on the show?
No.
'Cause he's no longer taking calls.
No, that's what we say.
Oh.
Call us and make a mess of this mix.
848-4425 in the 410 area code, and you could be on the air.
Am I on the phone? I didn't hear the noise.
Yes, you're on the phone.
Don't say hello.
Here we go. Thank you, sir.
What? Oh, he's playing his own creatively conceived music track.
Yeah, with the radio on.
Yeah, that's another phone line, or is that the same guy?
Let's try and escape from that.
Yeah, there is an escape from that sort of noise. Welcome
Go ahead.
to Open Forum.
You're on Ask Oscar.
Who the hell is Oscar?
I don't know. I just made it up.
Satan thought of a plan, dressed as a man, walking the earth, and since he began, the world is hell for you and me.
Excellent.
Good.
Excellent.
Very good.
It will be
This is what I like. Appropriate material.
when that man
And such high fidelity, too. How do you think they're doing that?
I don't know. They're all different.
Wow. I mean, that almost sounds like he's using a Teletours box or something. It's good.
with the small mustaches asleep beneath the lawn. When that man is dead and gone.
Yeah, very good call.
Thank you.
For calling and sharing.
And we rarely
shall
say
we take our next
thank
call,
you.
please?
Oh, no, not him again.
No, please don't do that.
You guys got to remember, when you come on here with a lot of effects and reverb and whatever the hell else you're using, or 10 feet away from your phone or whatever you're doing, it's almost totally ununderstandable. And so, you don't stay on for long, but geez, you should be able to hear that yourself just listening to the show. You can't do that kind of off mic stuff. Well, who cares? Now here's a guy, tries to do production, same guy. He's got all kinds of levels of things going on, and you can't understand any of it. Bang, pop, pow. You can't understand any of it. Maybe he doesn't intend you to. Maybe he's an abstractionist. Yeah, that made him laugh.
No, that was me laughing in the delay.
Oh.
See, now he's messing with us. Therefore,
Well-
it's actually a good broadcast technique.
Harold, we've got to do a station ID right here.
Great.
Hang on, don't do it. I got it
Great.
all set up.
Here we go.
Hello?
If you're listening, we're about to do a station ID and become legal again.
You gotta open up your heart. You're alone when you come in this world. You're alone when you go. And it doesn't matter who you are. Doesn't matter who you know.
Your brain is the devil.
Doesn't matter who you know as long as you know us. This is Over the Edge. I'm Izzy Isn't. Peter Konheim is here with me, mixing live on Over the Edge till 3 a.m.
Your brain is
Damn.
the devil.
Put any stops in those things. Well, it's KPFA, KPFB in Berkeley, KFCF in Fresno. Uniquely listener-sponsored radio, not a commercial in sight. Unless you have one, Harold.
Oh no, I don't have any handy.
Well, I sometimes have them, but you know, they're just for fun.
When KPFA needs some money, you know.
The boundary between the natural and the supernatural, for instance, which is an age-old boundary that's inherited largely from classical cultures, but also obviously from the history of religion. This is an ongoing interest both in horror and in philosophy. And fundamentally, what that's about is the question of whether the world around you, the world into which we're sort of thrown, is the world what you see, what you get, or
The Spirit is going to expose the stratagems
or is there something else that
of the devil for this last day.
Sort of beyond appearances or beneath the surface?
I'm just thinking of the strategy the devil has used ever since the Garden of Eden. Think of the strategy Satan used in the wilderness. Satan went after, the scripture says, those that were stragglers of the camp, the rear guard. He came against the weak. He came against those who were crippled and those who were diseased.
Well, apparently our brain is the devil. What about you? Is your brain the devil?
Tell us, talk to me.
Hi, family. I was just on the call saying I'm apologizing for trying to use Google Talk. It wouldn't play the weird shing noise, so I couldn't tell when I was on. Nor do I have a nice microphone. I was using my speakers as the microphone. So I'm really sorry for confusing old Donald and Mr. Ray and whoever else is there. And that's it.
It's Izzy Isn't and Peter
yeah.
Conheim. And thank you for apologizing. I think your input was just terrible.
Yeah. Who is Ray? Is he?
Who is what?
Ray, like Ray Weapons.
Yeah, Ray Weapons. That's someone else. We call him...
Peter?
No, that's not Peter. We call him someone else.
Is there any chance you can have Ray in again?
Oh, yes, he'll be back. Yes.
Excellent.
Just keep listening.
I will. I'm really sorry I muddled your mix.
Thank you.
I tried to play Boyle's Satan Black Eyes and some like dancing of Filipino priests, but it's all not all bad. I just play a microphone.
All right. Well, keep working on it. You never know.
Yeah, I have a question for Dr. Harold Camping, if he's still there.
Go ahead. He's here.
Doctor, what exactly are you a doctor of? I've always wondered that.
Harold?
There we are.
Yes.
Well, I received my original bachelor's degree in Hunter College in...
You mean BS degree?
Yeah, that's some folks call it that. But,
yeah.
Indeed, I received my first degree there at that college, and I've been in independent study for the last 65 years since then. 68 years now.
Fiercely independent study.
Yeah, very much so. And my stroke hasn't bothered me a bit. Not a bit.
Thank you for that question.
What of the night? But hush, wait a minute. Listen, I hear somebody.
When I read your letter this morning, that was on your place in bed.
What does this recording have to do with,
when I read your letter this morning.
It's a down and out blues. Come
What
on.
does that have to do with the devil?
Well, the devil is in your brain, right? So are the blues. The blues come directly from the devil. Both are in your brain. You see? You see now? You see?
Well, sort of.
But just listen to it. You'll feel like the devil.
That was on your place in bed. That's when I decided that I'd be better off dead.
There you see? Dead?
Yeah, sure.
Death has to do with the devil, certainly.
Is that some sort of like Erzatz white blues man that you picked up out of the KPFA demo CD bin or something? Like, what is that?
It's Paul Butterfield.
Oh, no kidding.
No
Well, you
kidding.
see, I'm just very out of that kind of music, I guess.
Not me. I'm still into it.
I figured that was something that some nice listeners sent in as a sort of like a pledge drive premium, you know?
Well, listen to how good it is.
Give this away and you'll get lots of pledges.
Listen to how good it is. Stop these complaints, Harold. I only play the best music.
Golly, it is good. You're right. I'm sorry. That's the best music I've heard all month.
Devilishly good.
Satan came and tempted in these areas of flesh and appetite. And folks, the devil has, the Bible says we're not ignorant of the devices or the wiles of the devil. The wiles mean plan, strategies. That very word is strategy. We're not ignorant of his strategy. His strategy keeps changing. He attacked the Corinthian church with a flood of lust and carnality.
When I read your letter this morning, that was on your place in bed. Yes, when I read your letter this morning, that was on your place in bed. That's when I decided and I'd be better off dead. It really daddy no use looking forever hoping to get me back. Oh, no use looking, babe.
Best music all the time on KPFA FM. Only the best.
He comes to the Galatian church with a bewitching spirit.
Don, could you turn on the real mic for just a second? This one right here.
Yeah, that's good. Thank you. I thought we might actually. I thought I would share something with you, Don. That I don't. I think that. I think I might have been possessed by the devil myself in a way that I think you're going to be very familiar with, actually, from knowing me from all those years on tour and sleeping in the same well, not the same bed necessarily, but the same close quarters. Remember that time when I said, "What's outside the house?" while I was sleeping? Do you remember that?
Where were we?
Oh, I don't know. It was on True False tour somewhere, and I said, you told me the next morning that I in my sleep I said, "What's outside the house? What's outside the house? What's outside? I gotta go. What's outside? I'm gonna look outside. It's ugh."
Sounds familiar. I don't really remember it exactly.
Well, so lately I've been recording myself when I sleep, for real, and here's an example of something that I just have no idea where it came from, but I think I was clearly possessed by the devil when I.
Excellent.
When I said it.
Excellent. Now that's working for the show.
Now
go ahead.
Yeah, this is preparation. Okay, so here we go. If I can cue it up here, I believe this will be it here.
Louder.
It'll show up.
Much louder.
Then we should show some cable.
Louder.
I can't. I'm muttering. I'm asleep. Here. Here's a good one.
Yeah. This is a wrong kind of way to live. But I feel like these gaps and then this intensive murder. And it's like, oh shit. And the drive and everything. I mean, it's going to be very intense.
You're asleep when you're saying this?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. There's like 15 of them here.
So you think you're relating a dream?
I don't know. Here's another one.
Fades out on her for that.
Yeah, and then
Boy,
this is my all-time favorite. Okay,
we're really slow when we're sleeping, aren't we?
Yeah, all of them are kind of slow. And this is my favorite. I don't know what was going on here.
Well, you can't fix that. That's a one-of-a-kind movie. I don't know whose it was.
God, you have expression and everything.
Yeah, well, I was clearly possessed. And one more. There's one more here. Let's see.
I'm sorry to hear that. What can I help you with?
I can't make this stuff up. This is just put the recorder by the bed and.
So you don't remember even after hearing them yourself, you don't have any idea what you were dreaming.
No, I have absolutely no idea. This is one from last night, actually. I think. What is today? Well, anyway, I think this is from last night.
Thursday. That's
right.
Friday, technically.
Well, we are already there.
That's all it is. Kind of, I say.
You're traveling.
Kind of already there.
You're traveling.
I think this one I took something.
I took it. I didn't. You just throw it with me. It's not.
Yeah, and
are they just phrases like this with hours of silence in between?
Yes, and hours of snoring actually, snores and chortles and sounds of my cats, making noises or fighting or whatever. Here's one.
You're thinking like, this is not a great story, but this is so bad.
Now, see, that sounds like I was
telling a joke.
I was relating a story or something that happened. Yeah. I've given these all titles. This one's called Dad's Office.
My dad is at his office and cleaning his office and shed.
So how much time during the day do you spend listening to these?
Well, this is you and the listeners of Over the Edge have now just heard my whole collection since. Let me see, when is these dates here? They're from.
In my opinion, that's enough.
But I mean, I could keep cataloging these, and who knows what's going to come out?
Yeah. Well,
I don't know. You notice how the fidelity improved as they went along?
Yeah.
That's because I'm using a piece of junk Apple device to record, and I had to cut a hole in my carrying case for the microphone. The microphone was hidden under a piece of leather. I wasn't very smart. Well, anyway, back to the show. I was clearly possessed by the devil, and I just felt like I had to let you know, Don.
Okay.
It's all over now. I'm fine.
Thank you.
They might be just related to Peter's need to defecate and urinate. I've heard that dreams are just are manifestations of having to go to the bathroom, and Peter just vocalized it. Could be wrong.
Well, that's interesting. I've actually never. I usually only go to the bathroom about once every 3 or 4 days, so that could explain a lot. Actually, a lot. You're number one or number two. You may be onto something there. God, I hadn't even thought about that.
3 or 4 days?
Yeah, generally. Sometimes 5.
That's,
Is that weird?
No, you're an old man, and I'm a young man who drinks a lot of water, eats a lot of food, so it surprises me.
Oh, I've been doing nothing but drinking water and eating fiber to try to make things go faster. But no, I generally urinate or defecate once every 3, 4, 5 days. Yeah, I've kind of lost count. You know, literally a whole work week can go by and just nothing comes out. That's weird, huh?
Is this true, or is it just a written truth?
Is this a true or what?
Is this true, or is it a written truth? Like, somebody wrote it, and then they're telling you, and then you're having to dictate it to me. Neither.
Yeah.
I guess. Neither. Well, excellent, Peter.
Enables you to.
Hey, so I wanted to say a quick thing.
It's a balance of hard releases.
Izzy was talking about blues and the devil. A long time ago, rock and roll caused licentious behavior in Christians, where they were influenced by the devil. So.
Yes, I have a whole show coming up in a few weeks on Satanism in rock and roll, the whole history of it. It's quite fascinating, quite fascinating.
Is that going to be your rock and roll is the devil?
The mixture of black and white music also at the time is an interesting part, like Elvis. You know, Elvis isn't typically satanic, but you know, eventually people were that rock and roll was going to be the downfall of society through. And it is, because I don't like rock and roll. I only like techno and Negativland.
Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child.
You can switch the mic off, Don. I don't think I'm going to say anything else.
Like a motherless child. A long, long way from home.
We're going to be covering that in this video. So they look like human men. I find this picture, this is from the Thor movie, to be rather representative. They were not aliens. They were not Nordics. They were sons of God type of angel. And they came down and they did take human lives.
Living below in this old sinful world, hardly a comfort can afford. Striving alone to face temptation's sword. Won't you tell me where could I go to the Lord? Where seeking a refuge for my soul. But I'm needing a friend who will save me in the end. Now won't you tell me where could I go but to the Lord? Now won't you tell me where could I go but to the Lord? Up above my head, there is music in the air. Up above my head, there is music in the air.
Paul said, having begun in the Spirit, are you now seeking perfection through the works of the law? Who has bewitched you? Who's cast the spell on you?
Really do believe there's a heaven somewhere.
New strategy from the enemy. He's going after entire congregations. He's going after the laity. You follow through in Revelation, first few chapters of Revelation. Ephesus, he attacks the church. He attacks the love and devotion to Christ. At Smyrna, Satan casts them over in prison. He sent blasphemers into their midst.
There's a heaven somewhere. I wanna soothe my heart, I wanna ease my mind, I wanna move my shoes and see what I can find. I wanna stand up tall and open up my eyes. I wanna reach out my hand until I touch in the skies. I wanna pour lost land in a deep dark hole. But now I found that light that's gonna save my soul. I used to smoke, I used to smoke, drink, and dance a hoochie coo. I used to smoke and drink and dance a hoochie coo. Oh yeah. Well, now I'm standing on this corner, praying for me and you. Ha ha ha. That's why I'm saved. I'm saved. People, let me tell you about a kingdom come. You know I'm saved. I'm saved. Well, I can preach until you're deaf and dumb. I'm in that soul-saving army, beating on that big bass drum. I used to cuss, I used to fuss, I used to bust, boogie all night long. I used to cuss and fuss and cuss and fuss and cuss and fuss and boogie all night long. Ha ha ha. Now I'm standing on this corner, I know right from wrong. That's why I'm saved. I'm saved. People, let me tell you about a kingdom coming. I'm saved. I'm saved. Well, I can't preach until you're deaf and dumb. I'm in that soul-saving army, beating on that big bass drum. I used to lie. I used to cheat. I used to lie, cheat, step on people's feet. I used to lie and cheat and step on people's feet. Oh yeah. And now I'm stepping on the glory. Salvation is my beat.
And Pergamos, false doctrine was sent to leaven the church. The Thyatira, the devil sent teachers in with the Jezebel spirit to seduce the congregations into fornication. And when you come to Sardis, you find formality and deadness cast upon them. And at Laodicea, the spirit of lukewarmness, covetousness, materialism blinded the whole congregation. You see the buffetings were, yes, they were against the flesh, and also in the spiritual realm. But you find against the masses.
I'm saved. People, let me tell you about a kingdom come. I'm saved. I'm saved. Well, I can't preach until you're deaf and dumb in that soul-saving army, beating on
I'm saying now, and in this last day, in this short period of time, the devil with such wrath knows he has to change his strategy. And the strategy is this. I'm going after the leaders. I'm going to focus all my attention on everyone who has spiritual authority. Everyone who walks close to Christ. Every prayer warrior. I'm going after their very faith. I'm going after their homes, their marriages. I'm going to try to paralyze every spiritual man and woman on the face of the earth.
I said I'm saved.
Either in terms of a deeper meaning for an individual, or in terms of sort of sensing that there is a place for an individual or for humanity generally in the world. And if you just think about horror film and you look back at the history of horror film and the way that monsters or creatures are represented, there's something about the formless that seems to hit a nerve with many people. In part, it could be because philosophers such as Aristotle tell us that life is defined by form and being formed and having a boundary and an outline. So maybe asking us to re-examine how we think about these sorts of things, whether it's philosophy or horror or what have you, in the sense that we often, when we see something like this, want to know, how can it help me, or what should I do with it? And really that's sort of asking, how can I use that to attain a certain end or help me get through this? While I think you can do that, I also want to ask, is that the only way of looking at these kinds of works, whether they're examples in horror or philosophy?
Lucifer, save us!
Well, really nice. You showed what else with that guy in the background?
I'm a demon.
Inside our heads, the nerve cells are all engaged in kind of a telephone-like conversation.
Is that so?
One speaking to the next, speaking to the next. And as the information is going through, each neuron is listening to all of its neighbors, giving rise to more and more complicated signal processing in our brains.
Correct.
Like to rock, zombies like to roll, but I dig the stomp cause it's good for the soul. On a graveyard prowl late one night, I tripped on a body and got quite a fright. As my fear subsided, my anger grew, I proceeded to stomp with the heel of my shoe. It keeps Janusz alive. It makes Frankie jive. And it's mine, all mine. It keeps my gills in line. I stomped and stomped like a crazy fool. How was I to know it was Janusz the Ghoul? But nevertheless I was having fun. It was the sinister stomp that made Janusz run. It keeps Janusz alive. It makes Frankie jive. and it's mine, all mine.
It's a sinister stunt.
He keeps my gills in line. This should teach him not to sleep on the job. He's getting bad habits from his playmate, the Blob. Hark, now it's midnight, come on, still a romp. Keep him in line with the sinister stomp.
It's a sinister stomp.
Keeps Janusz alive.
It's a sinister stomp.
It makes Frankie jive.
It's a sinister stomp.
And it's mine, all mine.
It's a sinister stomp.
La 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 la. Try to stomp to your heart's content. You'll only find that your energy is spent. To this stomp there is a knack. Ask Janusz, it broke his back.
Sinister stomp.
It keeps Janusz alive.
It's a sinister stomp.
It makes Frankie jive.
It's a sinister stomp.
It's mine, all mine.
It's a sinister stomp.
La 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 la.
Sinister stomp.
It's a killer yell.
Sinister stomp.
Everybody's doing it.
It's a sinister stomp.
It's a real thrill.
Sinister stomp.
La 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 la.
Sinister stomp. It's a sinister
There
stomp.
we go.
It's a sinister stomp.
You must have my back. La 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 la.
Many of the most eloquent moments in these so-called monster movies, of course, were played completely in pantomime. For example, I didn't have a word of dialogue in the original Frankenstein, and my most chilling scene in The Mummy was entirely speechless. The sequence when I, as Imhotep, was reawakening to life after 3,700 years dead in the dust of Egypt. But I hope that some of these excerpts you're about to hear will serve to conjure up visions for you once again of the magic moments of terror in these classic tales. The first great fright film of the talking era was, of course, Dracula. 3 sinister syllables forever synonymous with Bela Lugosi. He played the role 1,000 times or more on the legitimate stage before transferring it to the screen. And his fame spread from Transylvania, where he was born, to become a household word. Count Dracula, Bela Lugosi, one and the same. A suave, sinister, supernatural figure. His unique voice somehow suited the peculiar intonations and inflections of a prince of darkness, undead 500 years. Hear that magnetic voice again now, as Bela Lugosi speaks to you from the past and introduces himself.
I am Dracula. I bid you welcome. Listen to them, children of the night. What music they make. The spider spinning his web for the unwary fly. The blood is the light, Mr. Renfield. I trust you have kept your coming here a secret.
I followed your instructions implicitly.
Excellent, Mr. Renfield. Excellent. I have chartered a ship to take us to England. We will be leaving tomorrow evening. I hope you will find this comfortable.
Thanks. It looks very inviting.
This is very old wine. I hope you will like it.
Aren't you drinking?
I never drink. Why?
It's delicious.
And now I'll leave you. Good night, Mr. Renfield.
Blood-curdling, I'd say. Author Bram Stoker knew whereof he spoke when he wrote, "The blood is the power." A powerful melodrama of the macabre, Dracula, the vampire film classic of 1931. But the movie makers showed the movie-goers no mercy that year. Their Christmas present was as grisly a story of science gone wrong as was ever put on the screen. In 1818, the immortal book about a man who made a monster was born in the young female brain of one Mary Wollstonecraft Shelley. And over 100 years later, the genius of her imagination was transferred to the medium of the motion picture. I was the misshapen creature in those Depression days of 1931 that had to compete with Father Christmas to bring pleasure to people during Yuletide. But somehow it worked. People queued up at box offices all over the country, breaking records. And afterwards it was evident that millions all over the world felt sympathy for the monster. It was clear from the letters they sent that while they were terrified by my characterization, at the same time they pitied the monster that I portrayed. And that pleased me because it was exactly what I had hoped. How I came to be built is graphically described in this dramatic scene in which you will hear the voices of three fine actors. Dr. Henry Frankenstein, portrayed by Colin Clive, who died in the late 30s. Dwight Fry, who played in Dracula as well and died in the mid-40s. And Dr. Waldman, played by the late and venerable Edward Van Sloan, who passed away not too long ago in his 82nd year.
The storm will be magnificent. All the electrical secrets of heaven. And this time we're ready. Eh, Fritz? Ready. Oh! Why, what's the matter? Look! There's nothing to fear. Look. No blood, no decay. Just a few stitches. And look. Here's the final touch. The brain you stole, Fritz. Think of it. The brain of a dead man, waiting to live again in a body I made with my own hands. With my own hands. Dr. Waldman, I learned a great deal from you at the university about the violet ray, the ultraviolet ray, which you said was the highest color in the spectrum. You were wrong. Here in this machinery, I have gone beyond that. I have discovered the great ray that first brought life into the world. Oh, and your proof? Tonight you shall have your proof. At first I experimented only with dead animals, and then a human heart which I kept beating for 3 weeks. But now, I am going to turn that ray on that body and endow it with life. And you really believe that you can bring life to the dead? That body is not dead. It has never lived. I created it. I made it with my own hands from the bodies I took from graves, from the gallows, anywhere. Quite a good scene, isn't it? One man crazy, 3 very sane spectators.
From a creature put together from bits and pieces of dead tissue, as you've just heard, and unfortunately equipped with a criminal brain, I turn next to portraying a terror character for which there was no precedent. Imhotep, an Egyptian priest wrapped in mummied swathes and buried alive for an offense against the gods. Are ancient curses real? Can they endure through centuries, reach out and affect 20th century's modern superstition scoffing man? Played once again by Edward Van Sloan, veteran of Dracula and Frankenstein, the old Egyptologist warned of sacrilege and punishment in these potent words.
Death, eternal punishment for anyone who opens this casket in the name of Amun-Ra, the king of the gods. Good heavens, what a terrible curse.
Well, let's see what's inside.
Wait! You have read the curse. We recognize your mastery of the occult sciences, Miller. But I can't permit your beliefs to interfere with my work.
Then why did you send for me this afternoon?
As a friend and an expert. Because I saw this find was unique and I wanted your opinion on it.
It is providential that you did. Oh, come, Dr. Miller. Surely a few thousand years in the earth would take the mumbo-jumbo of any old curse. Ah, I cannot speak before a boy. Come out under the stars of Egypt. Do not touch that casket.
But there is always some foolhardy soul who will dare to open a Pandora's box. And when the young anthropologist in the film did, I came to life with this disastrous result for him.
What's the matter, man? For heaven's sakes, what is it?
He went for a little walk. You should have seen his face.
That you set your thesis, you have your antithesis, and then you have to bring in a synthesis, which is the new world religion, which is going to bring in the Antichrist.
Inside our heads, the nerve cells are all engaged in kind of a telephone-like conversation.
Well, is that where I am now? I must know. Where's my son? I knocked on the door, and there was absolutely nothing. I must know. Who are I? Limbo is so nice this time of year.
And the enemy of this whole concept are Bible-believing Christians, those narrow-minded people, or Jews that stick with a biblical worldview, or fanatical Muslims. And if you hear the news, you'll see that the fundamental Christians are being thrown in with the fundamental Muslims, because there has to be a new synthesis. So anything that is not going along with the big...
That Oscar character, he is the anti-God. That Oscar character, he is the anti-God. Also, my brain smells like burnt toast.
Trying to talk to him. The Lord told me to tell you, the morning come. Yes, it does. The morning come when the morning star shall shine. The morning come when the laughing lilies and the fragrant rosebuds will twine around the woodbine and show off the glory of a coming daybreak. The morning come. Yes, it is. Yes, it ain't gonna be nighttime all the time. No, behind night comes day. Behind every cloudy day, the sun sure will shine. And hush, I hear him talking.
Top of the sky is a place where you go if you've done nothing wrong. If you've done nothing
happening in the world today. And the Muslim world is fighting with the Jews. Jerusalem isn't being given to the Jews. We understand from a biblical perspective that Jerusalem belongs to Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ is going to come down and rule in Jerusalem.
So God says, Lucifer, you're foul now. You're corrupt now. Now it's not about me. Now it's about you. For this I kick you out of heaven. And I take away your job. You are no longer a covering angel for me. You are no longer a worshiping angel for me. You no longer reflect me. Now you reflect yourself. So he kicked him down to earth, and a third of the angels that believed in his trafficking and believed in his merchandise, a whole bunch of fans, kicked out of heaven. Kicked him out of heaven and all his fans. Because, you know, a fan is really a follower. I want you to make sure you get that, a true follower. That means whatever the superstar does, I'm going to defend it.
Hey, Satan. In the Hebrew language, the word Satan means...
It means to get in the way, actually. If you're on your way to do something bad, he will get in your way. That's Bilam on his way to curse Israel. It is an angel who's Satan, who stops him.
What's his identity? Is he an angel who forgot his job spec, if you like, and then became this sort of renegade angel? Is that
In Judaism, he's never been a renegade angel. He's part of the infrastructure of God's divine plans. Therefore, he has a job to do, but he is not independent of God. And he is not a renegade, as you were saying, in terms of as he would be in Christian thought.
And they had families. And so this is mentioned in Genesis 6, but then if you look in Ezekiel 31 and 32, it talks about the story of Genesis 6 in more detail, and it tends to focus on one in particular named Abaddon in Ezekiel 31. And so this is the same thing represented here, focusing on Abaddon. And it says that he was a cedar in Lebanon, and that he had many fair branches, refers to the daughters of men being fair. So he had many wives, and lots and lots of children. His boughs, his leaves, his tops of the tree went up to great height. And so it's kind of describing this picture of like a family tree.
Is the number of the new government that is to come.
Bad boy. Oh, bad boy. You could never be praised with your evil way. What am I to do? I'm so in love because she made me see how love could be. But she's a bad girl because she wants to be free. She wants to be free. She's not a bad girl to look at, finer than fine. Said she was mine, but she's a bad girl because it was only a lie. I bragged to the boys about the girl I had. It broke me up to find out she was bad, and my only wish is that I wish I could make a bad girl be good. She wasn't a bad girl at first, so good at the start. But now we must fight. Oh yes, she's a bad girl because she's breaking my heart. So bad. She's breaking my heart.
It's all in your head, FM.
Mama doesn't like him 'cause he never cuts his hair. Daddy doesn't like him 'cause he says he heard him swear he's a bad boy. But I don't care. He's not happy working. He's got no use for school. Never feels the least bit sorry when he treats me cruel. He's a bad boy. But I'm a fool. Don't it kind of break your heart now? Don't it make you sad? When the boy you love so much turns out to be so bad. He's a bad boy, a bad boy, oh yeah. Don't it kind of break your heart now? Don't it make you sad? When the boy you love so much turns out to be so bad. He's a bad boy. He's a bad boy. He's a bad boy. Oh yeah.
I'm thirsty. Why, do you want something? Well, it's strawberry something, or chocolate something. They even have vanilla something. Yes, a brand new flavor never heard of before. Get something today.
It's iJammer with Cinco. First digital music box with revolutionary dance songs. iJammer and Crawford. iJammer.
Listen, don't y'all hear him sing, morning come, but there's gonna be some night.
Serious? We dancing. Oh, it's real cool. Jammer. No parents allowed.
Devil or angel, I can't make up my mind which one you are. I'd like to wake up and find. Devil or angel, dear, whichever you are, I miss you, I miss you. I miss you. Devil or angel, please say you'll be mine. Love me or leave me, I'll go out of my mind. Devil or angel, dear, whichever you are, I need you, I need you, I need you. You look like an angel, your smile is divine, but you keep me guessing, will you ever be mine? Devil or angel, please say you'll be mine. Love me or leave me, I made up my mind. Devil or angel, dear, whichever you are, I love you, I love you.
Many of us have accepted the Holy Spirit in a moment of excitement, a sort of religious experience that wasn't real.
Love me or leave me, I made up my mind. Devil or angel, dear, whichever you are, I love you, I love you, I love you.
Seul, dans un endroit que je ne connais même plus.
Your brain is the devil.
God has ordained that Satan have a long leash, with God holding on to the leash.
Your brain is the devil.
Middle East. Unfortunately, one of my best friends is very religious. The young person's got 666 as a license plate. I should worry about that.
Autour de moi, des personnes me regardent. À ma vue, ils vomissent sans mégarde. Ma peau est écaillée. sur ma nuque, comme sur du fumier, pousse un énorme champignon pour m'empoisonner. Assis sur un meuble, informe, depuis des siècles repose ma grâce.
It was an unholy spirit instead, and by this you justified every sin while you got worse. These voices may urge you with scriptures for this reason. Of course, they're scriptures incorrectly used. The wolves in sheep's clothing, posing as ministering angels of God, have purposely conditioned you to words and stolen you away from the real meaning of those scriptures, the real meaning of life and truth, and handed you over to error in the name of truth.
Particularly of philosophy, there's often that sort of question asked, for that demand, and almost in a therapeutic or even a self-help kind of way, like how can this help me get through this particular issue? And I think there are examples in philosophy that address that, but I also feel like philosophy and horror as well, I mean, they ask more questions than they provide answers, and in fact they make things worse, actually, because they make you realize you've been assuming these things all along that have no ground, for instance, and they're often like crisis-inducing more than problem-solving. Endeavors. But, you know, the question is there a value in that? And I don't know, I think that there is. And I think especially now, given that we are constantly encouraged to think about events on a global scale.
So long, it's not true. I wanted a woman, never bargained for you. There are lots of people talking now, few of them know. The soul of a woman was created below. Try to push me away. Baby, listen, baby, I don't know where you've been. Woman, I want your love. I want your love so hard, bringing home my heart and mind. Come on, baby, 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 you push me away. Now, I know I've said this once before, I think I'm gonna have to say it one more time. I ain't got no loving, baby, I'm gonna send you down the line. Oh, I mean what I say. Oh, come here.
but also on a non-human scale. These are areas, philosophy and horror, that might give us some ideas about how to do that.
In Jewish tradition, this is a little bit how the devil is regarded. Yeah. That which makes you think, what you're supposed to do is reach a position of moral ascendancy. Be behind me. Yeah, exactly.
You can hear that coming through the air. I want you to hear that. There's nothing like it.
Either how to imagine a world in which the monster doesn't die, how to imagine a world in which maybe there's no difference between us and the monster, how to imagine a world in which maybe just the world itself is a monster, or maybe being, existing itself is a monster, or I don't know, I mean, how to think around these sorts of limits that are really absolute limits. They're not necessarily relative kind of limits.
With a rage inside of me that had to keep. Don't push it, lady! I mean, I had a serious temper problem.
Such tactics are used to confuse,
I'm sorry.
confound and anger you, so you'll be sucked down into despair. Your resentment rekindle against such teachers and memories.
Not someone who's the source and epitome of evil.
And voices may make you angry and feel guilty.
He is a minor angel with a particular task.
It's very, very important that the Satan figure in the Old Testament is not the same as the devil. In that way, it is not the sort of, the face of evil. Satan is a prosecutor in God's holy court. He's absolutely on God's side.
The whole world lies under the evil one, and under it, like an atmospheric, you can almost say atmospheric blanket, upon the world, there is a demonic, personal, evil power. Permeating the world. And I think that means that the prince shapes the patterns of this world order. It says specifically he works in the sons of disobedience. Notice the movement. There is power in the air, which is evil, but he works in a certain brand of people.
Rolling, 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 roll and rolling. I'm rolling for Jesse Ventura, 2016. He's running for president. Again, Jesse Ventura. He's running for president. 2016. Vote for Jesse Ventura.
They're called sons of disobedience. Which I take to mean that To the degree that your heart is disobedient to God, to that degree are you under the control of Satan.
Didn't I tell you that the day was gonna come?
To the degree that your heart inclines to obedience to Scripture, to that degree has he no foothold in your life. Remember that passage in Ephesians? Don't let the sun go down on your wrath. Give no place to the devil. The paradigm there is real clear. If you disobey Scripture and hold a grudge, Satan's got a foothold. If you obey Scripture and cast that grudge out of your life, Satan hits a wall. He can't get in. to that part of your life. Sons of disobedience run the world. That's how Satan runs the world. He doesn't merely run the world through kind of accidental bumping up against buses and things. He runs the world through sons of disobedience. So that if a newspaper, for example, has a lot of sons of disobedience who run it, it'll be a satanic newspaper. It'll have wickedness shot all through its editorials. If there's an entertainment industry that has a lot of sons of disobedience in it, that entertainment industry will be satanic. It'll have Satan's influences and power just shot all through it in its programming.
Your brain is the devil.
And in its movies and in its plays and so on. You just go right down the line in our culture. The patterns of our culture in its commerce, its industry, its entertainment, its arts, its recreations, all of them have a god over them, a prince. And there is an atmospheric evil that shoots through, and then that goes right into the sons of disobedience, and they bring out all kinds of philosophical ideas, all kinds of notions about social life, which are simply tinged or shot through with satanic evil.
Si la pourriture de mon cadavre, car je n'ose plus dire mon corps, ne le nourrissait abondamment, comme il se restaure.
With lots of Nephilim children here with the Jolly Green Giant. So Abaddon had more wives and more children than all of the other sons of God, and they envied him. It describes he had a problem with pride there. And so, and he had a kingdom, you see represented here in the background. In the pre-flood world, I mean, his family was the biggest and the strongest, and so he was kind of the one that all the other ones envied and more prominent. So that's Abaddon represented here in red. And so we're going to put that there in mini. So all of that was going on with Abaddon as well. And the other sons of God too. We're not going to be covering the Nephilim or demons in this video, or Rephaim. So Genesis 6 happened, and then the flood took place.
So, the whole world lies under the evil one, and therefore Jesus calls him the ruler of the world. And we just need to step back here and catch our breath.
I've seen them kneel with bated breath for their ritual. I've watched this experience raise them to suit a higher levels. I've watched them leave their families in pursuit of your nirvana. I've seen them coming to light up from Switzerland and America. Falters. I've heard them chanting Cali, Cali, frantically. I've heard them rudely repeat your teachings with elitism. I've seen them boasting roads and forests and the would-be's. Let's take by. Kiss your feet. How will this take by? How have we been sleeping? Still see me hanging on to every word you say. How soon will I be holy? How much will this cost you? How much longer till you completely absorb me?
All the sides, all at once. This is Cubist broadcasting from the Universal Media Network.
Keep on listening for that quiet voice.
You found the sound. Found the sound.
But to have a choice, you got to open up your heart.
Universal Media Network.
You got to open up your heart. Oh, this world is dear to me, but heaven is my home. This is where I long to be. Heaven is my home. When your life seems gloomy, teardrops start to fall. Send word back to me, and I'll be there when you call. I've been down this road before. Heaven is my home. Not coming back here anymore. Heaven is my home. Yeah. Heaven is my home.
And at the time of the flood, let's take a look at this. They were imprisoned, according to in 2 Peter and in Jude also, they were imprisoned. And so the fountains of the deep burst open at the time of the flood, and then we see the tectonic plates all over the planet, and that seems to be where the fountains of the deep broke open and the water poured out. But then it seems like some water also went back in, as at the end of the flood. And what Ezekiel 31 describes is that on the 150th day of the flood, whenever the earth was covered with water, that Noah was on the ark with his family, but there seemed to still be straggling survivors, and definitely the sons of God, being angels, didn't drown.
I mean, if your breath isn't at least partly taken away by these ascriptions, the God of this age, the prince of the power of the air, the ruler of the world, the one under whose power the whole world lies. I just wonder how many in this room right now believe this.
Yes, I went for a little walk. And that year, and in years soon after, in the old dark house, the black cat and the raven, I went for other little walks that somehow always panicked people. And then, in 1935, I met Miss Elsa Lanchester in the scream heard around the world. That was the reaction from Mrs. Lawton when she was introduced to me in
The Bride of Frankenstein.
And that was the voice of the late Ernest Thesiger, playing the peculiar Dr. Pretorius. I found my voice in this sequel and mumbled a few lines. Perhaps you'd like to hear them again.
And now for our lesson. Remember, this is bread. 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 And this is wine. To drink. 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 Good. Good. We are friends, you and I. Friends. Friends. Good. Good. Before you came, I was all alone. It is bad to be alone. Alone. Bad. Friend. Good. Friend. Good. Now come here. And what is this? This is wood for the fire. There is good and there is bad.
Good. Bad.
But in the end, I decided my reluctant bride and I were better off dead, and told Colin Clive so in no uncertain terms.
But I can't leave them, I can't.
Yes. Go. You live. Go. You stay. We belong dead.
I really thought they'd done me in that time. Oh, what an explosion. But 4 years later, they had me back in harness, and I do mean harness. For I assure you, my friends, that makeup was heavy in The Son of Frankenstein. Purists insist that the name Frankenstein refers only to the doctor who created the monster. But it was in this film that the doctor's son himself established the authority for calling the monster Frankenstein, when he brooded audibly about the fact that the villagers in the vicinity of his father's laboratory now made his father's name synonymous with his deadly creation. In one part of the picture, the late Lionel Atwill recalls just how deadly.
Most vivid recollection of my life. I was but a child at the time, about the age of your own son, Herr Baron. The monster had escaped and was ravaging the countryside, killing, maiming, terrorizing. One night he burst into our house. My father took a gun and fired at him. But the savage brute sent him crashing to a corner. Then he grabbed me by the arm. One doesn't easily forget, Herr Baron. An arm torn out by the roots.
Bela Lugosi was back in Son of Frankenstein, and in a completely off-track role for him. As Igor, the demented blacksmith, he created a characterization which was a great verbal triumph. A far cry from the sinister, albeit highly sophisticated Count Dracula in Human Vampire was the crude, gruff Igor. Listen now to the well-disguised voice of my friend as he describes how he cheated the hangman's noose and lived.
My name is Igor. Let me go, Frankenstein. You see that? They hanged me once, Frankenstein. They broke my neck. They said I was dead. Then they cut me down. They threw me in here long ago. They wouldn't bury me in a holy place like churchyard because I stole bodies. They said, so Igor is dead. You, Dr. Frankenstein, nobody can mend Igor's neck. It's all right.
The boiling sulfur bath that I took at the end of The Son of Frankenstein was hardly a health cure, and it was the last time I ever played my old friend, the monster.
Ha! Thought I forgot Thanksgiving, huh? No way. Never let it be said that Over the Edge ignores America's holidays. So here to end out this show is our special, very special tribute to Thanksgiving. Here it is.
Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Dumb.
I try to remember how you're supposed to treat the flu.
I wondered where that was.
Oh yeah, here we go. I think if I remember right, you give a person a lot of fluids, to drink.
Yeah.
And maybe even a little hot soup or something, something like that. Yeah. And it's going to be hard for him with all this food around. But maybe, usually you don't feel too much like eating anyway, kind of.
You hear me chewing?
He's getting
Darned
all
if I
the
don't
sounds.
like that beard on you, if you have it short like that. Looks nice.
Yeah, when he keeps it trimmed, it isn't bad looking. Are you getting food sounds right now? You want to hear some more food sounds?
All right.
Okay.
He should have had it on that television yesterday. They had they had some turkeys, the wild turkeys they were shooting. And
Yeah, do you remember how they sounded? They were going.
Are you weird, Betty Hansick?
Anything you want to call me, it's all right with me.
I should
Weird, not weird, semi-weird.
I should have brought the accordion.
Yeah, why didn't you?
You'll have to wait until
Okay. Well, you get that
Turkey's
bell
done.
now. That means that. Probably about how many minutes does it say?
Testing 1, 2, 3, 4.
Food or like the place. Turkey. Oh, you well, this face when I'm really doing something creative rather than when I'm working with the
I've
bird
got my
here.
wits about myself. It'll be on the radio tonight.
Oh, just brief. All right, now let's see. What have I got here? This is mostly fat, I think. I think I'll get rid of some of this. Let's see. Where do I?
I'll get a little hole here.
Little cup of something or other.
Put it in this.
Yeah. All right. Gee, these are cute little bowls, aren't
Yeah,
they?
they're nice little soup bowls.
Yeah, I like these. All right. I'm gonna get rid of all but about 3 tablespoons of it, and then I'll use the rest for the. There. Okay. Now I'm going to need a little flour, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all I need. A little flour. Where is this? This is the flour. Okay, I gotta light this
And you want
first.
spoon.
What are you looking
One of these spoons.
Yeah, I can just do that like that. Okay, now I got it going here. I'll get a little flour in there. Boy, you must buy a whole 10-pound bag of flour here, don't you?
That just holds 5 pounds.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. A couple tablespoons. Julia, child, watch out. Got some competition here.
Yeah.
Did you ever watch her cook? Boy, she is sloppy.
Yeah,
she's sloppy.
she cooks. She makes it seem so easy, and she just throws it together.
Yeah, she never measures. She just tosses it in and hopes for the best, and usually it turns out good.
Yeah. I like to watch her sometimes.
Yeah, I haven't seen her lately though.
Oh, she was here in Santa Rosa.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
was?
over at she was giving us some kind of a.
Gee, you should have gone down to see her. Where was she? In one of the department stores or something?
Over here at the Flamingo.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, she was
Flamingo.
advertising. In fact, she was making food.
Oh, I think, didn't she just write a book? I think she wrote a new book.
Yeah.
She was probably promoting her book. That's what she was doing. Well, oh, Julia.
She's traveling all over, it
Oh,
seems.
that
You
woman
see
gets
her
all over the place, yeah.
I'd like to see her personally, you know.
Yeah. Well, she seems to...
She's a good cook.
Yeah, she is.
But she makes it seem so easy. Well, she's got everything right at her
Yeah,
fingertips.
you know, she doesn't have to do anything except put everything together. What'd you say?
In that pan, what are those things?
Peas. And can't you recognize a pea when you see one?
Betty.
That's a dumb thing to ask me. He sees them sitting right there. What do you think they look like? Watermelons or something? They're peas. P-E-A-S. Peas. Okay, now I'm going to start adding a little liquid here. See what happens. Whoops.
What is that liquid?
This is giblet juice.
Looks like douche water.
Well, it's not. It's giblet juice.
Giblets wasn't in it. What I had, I didn't have very many giblets this time.
I've got a little radio in there, and she said something nasty happened
Who, me?
on that little radio.
Oh, he's got something hooked up there in the living room. I don't know what it is, but some couple of guys are talking on there, and they're not very nice.
Oh,
They're saying things they shouldn't.
That's the jammers.
Oh, is that right?
Jammers. Yeah, oh, I'm not shocked at anything I hear anymore.
You watch Divorce Court?
No, I don't. I should, huh?
Yeah. It's better than General Hospital.
Yeah. Well, I don't watch
Boy,
them.
Jan sure watches something that's pretty steamy.
What?
It comes on at 2 o'clock every afternoon on TV. It's some soap opera. And, boy, she's really hooked on it. She'll even pass up lunch just so that she'll see
I'll have to hook up on it.
What channel is it on?
Oh, 5.
Five,
Channel
yeah,
5 is the
yeah.
one it's on. And I don't know what it is because I don't watch those things.
Haven't watched them for years now. I used to watch them all the time when I lived in the valley. And even Dad liked them. He always told me to call him in.
Oh, really? Well, you used to watch those hospital ones, didn't you?
Yeah.
General Hospital.
I watched that for years.
Yeah,
But
I thought you still did.
What?
I thought you still did.
She gave it
No,
up 'cause
I
they're
don't
getting
watch
too
them
bad
anymore.
now. They're terrible.
You mean they're too sexy?
Yeah, they are.
Well, they're sexy and it's all. I'm too busy outside in the yard to come in.
Well, they got a one-track mind lately. Everything is in the bedroom now.
Yeah.
I mean, sooner you turn on and for 5 minutes it's in the bedroom.
Yeah.
Maybe we better get the cable for Grandma.
Oh, I don't think Grandma would like the cable.
No, I get all I need right on these few little.
Just regular old TV is
Yeah.
kind of, I don't know.
And that's getting to be. They don't hold anything back.
I think that's about as much liquid as I'm going to use. We don't have to have a whole bunch of
No, we don't. And what was we going to put in there?
Well, you want to put these giblets
that
right here.
giblets.
Yeah, okay.
I should have gotten a few mushrooms to put in.
Oh, well, no, this is fine. This looks good.
Mushroom gravy, that would go good. Oh,
Oh, your peas, huh?
well, I've got these buns.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Oh, yeah, buns. My God.
Yeah, you can't have the dinner without
My
the buns.
goodness, I wouldn't have the dinner without these buns, and I don't think you would eat without these buns.
What kind of buns are they?
Oh, they're just ordinary buns. I just made them small, that's all.
Are
Just
they
plain,
Good.
plain as can be.
do you think
I
I
just
have
put it in the muffin pans, and that's why they're little.
What kind of a pan?
Muffin. You hardly hearing or something? You make her repeat everything.
He just wants me to repeat things.
Are they safe?
Hmm?
Do you think they're safe?
I think
What?
Safe.
Safe?
Yeah.
Why, don't you think they're safe?
You said they were muffins. They
Well.
gotta be safe.
Do you think I should add a little pepper and
I don't
salt
know
on
what
this, or not?
Well,
Just a little.
taste it.
I think I'll just put a little bit of salt.
Oh, well, you don't have to hold the salt from on my
Well, I won't put
account.
too much on.
I don't think you can eat more than this, can you?
That looks like the Olympic Games.
We'll heat them up.
See, I have to hold the microphone closer to Grandma because you're so loud.
Oh, am I loud? That's what you call a loud mouth. Perfect loud mouth. Okay, now all I have to do is find a bowl to put this in.
Yeah, I'll get the bowl.
Bowl am I gonna
Back,
use?
back.
Am I still in? Okay. I smell something burning, possibly.
I don't think anything's burning here.
I don't smell it.
Okay.
What brand is the stove?
Oh, I don't even know.
I haven't checked it lately. It's called a Gaffers and Sattler. That's turn of the century brand.
It's an old stove. It's about ready to crumble.
It cooks really good though, Mama. I wouldn't complain
it
about
does.
this stove. It has a good
I just hate to clean it. There's so darn many places to clean on it.
Yeah, that looks good.
Did you get whipped cream?
Oh, yes. I thought of that first.
But you're late to lick the beaters.
Yeah, you can't lick
Your
them.
mom and I had that pleasure.
Okay.
Okay, there you go.
I want this milk for me. I use this.
Now I suppose I can put this.
Kind of milk? That's
This-
nice.
This is just pure milk. I don't know who. I use this. Where am I going to sit here?
Yes. Happy Thanksgiving, I guess. This has been Over the Edge. This is KPFA, KPFB in Berkeley, KFCF in Fresno, KPFA.org online. Thanks to Peter Konheim for sitting in with me. It's been Over the Edge. We'll be back next week for 5 hours.
To create is divine. To reproduce is human. Man Ray.
I'm just going to put some water in this and let it set.
All right, fine. Thank you, sir.